My name is Monica Golden, and I will be hosting this afternoon's event. Book Passage is pleased to welcome author Cynthia Brennen and her new book, Living, Loving, and Unlearning. Thank you so much. Now we can start. Have you ever wondered about your life's dreams and what happened to them? This book is your wake-up call and a reminder that it's never too late to discover your purpose. Through experience with personal and professional lessons, Cynthia teaches you how to live a life of balance, health, and authenticity. Please help me give a warm welcome to Cynthia Brennen.
Thank you, Monica. Well, welcome everybody. It's great to see these faces here today. And it's like almost filled up, which is nice, because we were in this quiet, beautiful room earlier, but we really wanted to see some more faces, so thank you for coming. Really appreciate that. So yes, this is my book, Living, Loving, and Unlearning. And today I am going to start reading actually from my prologue, because it will give you a synopsis, an idea of why this book came about for me. Actually, I started it I was writing a blog about 5 or 6 years ago, and I would continually write about things going on in my own personal life, professional life. I'm a therapist. I'm an MSW, Master of Social Work. So I've been doing therapy work for 30 years, 20 years of private practice. And so this is really a compilation of all those experiences that I've had personally and professionally. So I'm going to start to read to you my prologue, and then I've got a couple other pieces. And then my brother Norm is here, who is from the area in San Anselmo, and our friends Matt and Paul. And they're going to join Norm on a song that happens to be in the book that is about our father, who left us 22 years ago, passed away, and just such an amazing man in our lives. So I know that you're going to appreciate the song that the three of them are going to play and sing. But I'm going to start with the prologue and then go into a piece on unlearning, because the title of the book, Living, Loving, and Unlearning, a lot of people do question, oh, living, loving, we know all about that, but the unlearning piece, what is that? What does that really mean? So I'm going to go into that as well and see if it touches any of you and it rings truth for you. I was dying, my heart and soul that is. I couldn't breathe. I felt lost in a world that whirled around me. If I didn't make some changes soon, I knew I would be gone. It was now or never. I had to find the key to unlock my imprisoned spirit. She was crying out to me for help. My first hint was when I landed in my doctor's office with heart palpitations. I rode the treadmill, performed all the cardiac stress tests, and did everything they told me to do. In the end, my doctor looked at me and simply said, stress. Yep, as simple as that, stress. I knew in that moment my life had to change. I was killing myself, and for what? Running around like a chicken to make sure everyone was happy, everyone but me, that is. I wanted everybody to like me and see what a hero I was, but appearing to be that hero nearly killed me. I woke up, and then the work began. I had written the above in my journal 11 years ago, and as I reflected on the day my life changed, I had just turned 41. Since then, I have searched, created, and lived a life devoted to discovery. In the search, there have been many bumps in the road, and just as frequently, beautiful balloon rides. Self-discovery is an amazing experience, requiring dedication to the unveiling of your authentic self. It has been said, the truth will set you free. This much I know is true. Realizing your truth will set your soul free. It is through this process that I have created balance in my life, focusing on mind, body, spiritual, and emotional wellness. In living this delicate balance, I have experienced many trials and errors in my life, and I feel blessed and honored to be a guide in my clients' lives as they unravel their own discoveries. It is only through my willingness to experience life to the fullest that I am able to support my clients unconditionally as they travel their own roads. This book is a compilation of my writings over the past 4 years. I delve into spiritual and emotional wellness, exercise and nutrition, mental health, and personal and professional experiences through all of it. The process of unlearning is a key component of my writing as it focuses on peeling away the layers put upon us by society and individual people in our lives and rebuilding the real you. The soul you were born to be on this earth, simply the beauty of yourself. Now I'm going to move into the process of unlearning. So you heard my story, and that is my true story. And my friend Heather's nodding her head. Heather has been with me, oh my gosh, since high school. Very close friend. So she has seen me up close and personal, me going through these changes. And she's here today. But I am going to read about the process of unlearning. Before that, I want to read just a little quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. This is on my page titled Living in Authenticity. Whatever course you decide upon, there is always someone to tell you you are wrong. There are always difficulties arising which tempt you to believe that your critics are right. To map out a course of action and follow it to the end requires courage. So, the process of unlearning. A concept that may sound a bit strange to you at first, especially since so much emphasis has been put upon learning throughout our lifetime. But if you consider the expectations put upon us by influential people in our lives, you may begin to understand the meaning behind this reversing process. When we entered this world as babies with the purity of our untouched souls encased in our bodies, we were completely free. Free of judgment, expectations, and totally accepting of who and what we were. We flailed with joy, extending our limbs out from our soul to feel and experience the world around us. We cried when our tummies were hungry, we needed a diaper change or a good burp to let out some air, right? Pretty simple. Then piles of learning came upon us. We needed to learn a plethora of skills just to survive in this world. In addition, the teachers in our lives taught us beliefs they thought were important, often beliefs they were taught, and so on down the line. The question remains, is what our teachers were taught attributes that resonated with our personal soul? Very likely some did and some did not. Your challenge today is to dig down deep into your own soul and then tune into what resonates with your authentic self. As you do this, you will strip away the layers of all those expectations you piled on to please others. Anything that doesn't feel comfortable in the pit of your gut is worth reevaluating in your life. I use the metaphor of peeling away the layers like a banana peel, discarding one strip at a time. As you do this, you create room for the real you. What would you add to your life as you strip away the old? Listen to the whispers of your soul, and you will begin to live the life you came here to live, fulfilling your purpose here on earth. The more you become the purity of your soul, the happier you will feel walking your earthly journey. Enjoying your own path as you extend your natural love and positive energy out to others. Just as you were meant to be, living in the vastness of simplicity. To be true is to be you. Anyone have any questions or comments on that passage of unlearning? Any thoughts?
Are you still going through that?
Oh, I'm in a very interesting process right now. It just keeps evolving, and life for me gets more and more challenging and rewarding and amazing. I am, after a 34-year relationship, 30-year marriage, in the middle of a divorce right now, and I'm about 5 months in. And we have 3 beautiful children, 3 beautiful girls, and they're 22, 19, and 16. And we're doing the best that we can with it. my husband and I both, we're doing the best that we can. But, you know, we've both changed and grown in different directions over the years. And I do believe some people grow and change and they grow together. And then some people grow and change and they can grow apart. And the best thing I believe you can do if the apart thing happens, especially if you have children, that you remain civil with one another and kind to one another. And that's not always easy when you're in that process. So I am learning something very new for me right now, but doing the best as I can with it. Heather?
I think learning to identify what your gut says is a difficult thing to do, but once you get it, it helps. Do you have any, how do you take away the noise to listen to your gut?
Meditation. But meditation isn't always, and what I do a lot with my clients, you know, some of my clients will come in and see me and they'll say, oh my God, meditation, I can't sit, I can't, you know, my mind races. But I start very small with them. You know, we start with maybe a minute. And the nice thing, and meditation is in this book, I go through, you know, how to do it. I mean, it really is simple. I think we create this thing, this bigger thing than it is. So all you really need to do is just either eyes open or closed. Most people close, but if you're not comfortable with that, you pick a spot on a carpet or the wall, and you might create a mantra in your mind, like I am well, I am happy, or some people say a prayer, or whatever it is that allows you to feel comfortable, but you say that mantra over and over. The purpose of a mantra is to help your mind not wander, so that you can stay focused in the present, so that your intuition is allowed to work, and your connection to spirit and source and, you know, the universe is, you quiet your mind and your body and yourself enough to have those messages come to you.
Sorry I came late, but I was over in a sweet little store in Larkspur where they told me about it.
Oh,
And I came running over, and I think it's maybe somebody that knows you well.
Yes, my sister-in-law, Maria, right here is the owner.
Yes, well, that's why I'm here, that's why I'm late. I
Oh.
just followed my intuition that I had to come.
Oh, see, so glad
I'm
you
just
made
here
it.
to get to hear your story. But what's coming up for me and what I want to ask about, and if you've already been there, I apologize for asking. So you hear this intuition and you say, I now know what makes sense to do. And then off you go to, you know, walk into the truth and do what you need to do. And all the other forces rise up and people say, I like the new you.
Yes.
How do you handle
Oh,
that?
yeah. It happened to me about 12 years ago when I started this. Yes. You just, in fact, Heather and I have a mutual friend who had a little bit of a hard time with who knew me, and she eventually came around. You know, with kindness and love, you just say, this just feels right to me, and I'm happier with this, and I love you, and I care about you still, but if you're not with me on this path, that's okay, but I'm following it.
And this is a boundary I need to set or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if they're meant to be in your life, they will continue to be, and if they're not, they'll go their separate way. Yeah.
But they're gonna throw up the roadblocks. It's
They'll
those
try,
negative,
yeah.
whatever, or all the opinions that people have, which is what gets you stuck in the first place.
Right. So it's again being authentic and true to yourself. And what is it that feels right? Because you know how it feels when you're not being true to yourself and you're trying to please other people. And you know, sit with that feeling. It doesn't feel right, does it? I know it didn't for me. I just,
It's
you know.
exhausting.
It's exhausting. And when you do start to follow your truth and push away the fear and jump into those courageous steps, the seas part. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm in it right now. I mean, there's real difficult stuff, but in other ways, the seas are like things are just lining up. I won't go into detail, but things just are lining up to be like, oh my gosh, this is right. This is meant to be. This is right. It's just flowing. It's just flowing. Things are coming to you. People are coming to you and giving you things and creating things, and you know when it's right. And you know those roadblocks come when you're not following your true path. It doesn't feel right. And that's why I read here in the pit of your gut. You just know it. You feel it. But we have to sit with ourselves long enough to allow ourselves to feel that. If we're running through life and running, we're not going to feel it. Our minds are just racing too much. So that's why meditation is so key for me.
In meditation, in some groups, the goal is what they call, I guess, emptiness. Do you achieve emptiness by having a mantra going in your mind at the same time?
With practice, you get spurts of that, but, and I didn't get to the point of finishing the meditation piece. Your mind will wander. You know, the goal is that emptiness feeling they talk about.
That's the ultimate.
That space.
That just
Yeah.
takes years.
It
and
takes
years.
time.
Yes.
It does.
So in the meantime, you say a mantra so you don't have all these other racing.
That's right,
thoughts and
but you know what? You will race. You will think of the
Think
grocery
of
list.
the
You will
grocery
think
list.
it. You know, you just will, and that's okay. See, this is why people think I failed if I do that. No, yes. You think of the list for a second, you come back to the mantra. And you think, and you just come back. And eventually you are, retraining your brain. There's a lot of talk about that, but you will retrain your brain to be able to quiet itself for longer periods of time.
Do you work the mantra out yourself? Not, you don't need a.
Well, you can, and there's also, go online and look up like Deepak Chopra. He does a meditation series, and he'll have a whole list of mantras in Latin. And, there's like a couple words, and then you can repeat those over and over again. It's just, the words that I don't know what they mean, but I'll say them over and over, and it's very calming and soothing. Some people will have music on in the background, some will have silence. It's just what works for you. I personally like little spa music in the back or something, something that's real soothing, flutes or Native American. I like that, but some people require the complete silence.
What was your aha moment, Cynthia? Were there several aha moments that saying, okay, this isn't working for me, I need to listen to myself, to hear my voice,
Yes.
and go on in life
Yes.
in a way that's truly me? Were those a series of aha moments, or was it just some revelation kind of?
A series, but like in my prologue, that was a huge aha. Like, my girls were babies. They were, young, and, I'm having these heart palpitations. I'm thinking I have a heart problem. My hair was falling out. I was stressed. I wasn't healthy. I was depressed. I was tired all the time. So I'm thinking I have a heart issue. I'm going to be going to the cardiologist. In a way, there was a little bit of relief when it was like, it's just stress. Well, there was a lot, but there was also like, oh my gosh, my stress is bringing this much trouble to my body. I mean, that's a true signal of all these things happening to me. That's a wake-up call. I gotta make a change. And I've made a huge change in many areas of my life, from nutrition to exercise to self-care to, boundaries with people. Huge change. In fact, a friend of mine said, I think you wrote that book to fix yourself. I said, well, no one's really fixed. I'm good to work in progress, But I think she's perfectly right. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my last piece that I'm going to read, and then Norm and Matt and Paul are going to sing us this beautiful song about my dad. Okay. And this book, by the way, is, as I said, a compilation of many different things: mind, body, spirit, nutrition, exercise. It's, pieces. But in the introduction, I say, and I really believe it's carried by angels, and I just say that because I feel like I just wrote it and released it, and the angels handle the rest, because in Norman Nuria, sell at Coquelicot Nuria store, and they say open to a page for a life lesson right on the book, and people come in and do that. And I do it with my clients too, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is going on in my life right now. From a loss of a pet to a client I had with addiction, he opening it to the section on addiction, to, it's just uncanny. It is really like an angel card kind of book where you just randomly open it, and each passage is anywhere from a page to 4 pages. So it's a nice quick read. Okay. I love you, Dad. January 25th. Today is my father's birthday. He left this earth to fly with the angels 20 years ago. The thing is, my dad was an angel on this earth. For those of you who knew him, you know what I mean. I cry as I write this, thinking of so many memories. He was a guy who was always there when you needed him. Not only was he a father of 8 children, he took some others under his wing as well. Always the dad with the stopwatch at the swim meets, always on time to pick us up at the club, always the one you could depend on, literally the glue of our family. The sound of his whistle is so clear to me right now, sitting here in silence, as my brother Norm wrote in one of his songs, and I can smell the lilacs blooming in the springtime sun, and I can taste the McIntosh apples when the harvest comes, and I can still hear my daddy's whistle a mile down the road. Just this feeling I have right now makes me want to go down Old Braley Road, the country in my soul. How I love those days on Old Braley Road. My dad left me a dime last night. It is one of the many ways he lets me know he's still with me. I find them in various conspicuous places. It gives me comfort to know I can talk to him any time of night or day. He especially shows his presence around his birthday and Valentine's Day, the day before he passed. So fitting for such a sweetheart. I love you, Dad. Remember those you love today and always. They are treasures that may move to another dimension, but they can never be lost. And now I'm going to present Norm and Matt and Paul to sing Norm's song that Norm wrote, Dad.
I want to thank my sister for having us here today. And the thing about my father was that, like you said, he was such a giving soul. He was always there for us. I'm the oldest of 8 children. And I think I remember an experience that I had when I was 5 years old. My favorite thing to do is to rake the leaves on the front lawn with my dad. And I remember one Sunday, he threw down the rake and he looked at me and he went like this, and he raced me out to the street. And as we were running, I remember turning around and looking up at him, and he was smiling down at me, and the wind was blowing through his hair. And I just thought, this is the greatest man in the world on earth for me. And so that's where the song came from. It's my friend Matt, and my new friend Paul from New York. It's a song for Dad. There'll be those who you'll remember, and they'll have a place so high in that unspeakable forever. And you'll think about them now and then, as I think of him right now. There was a man, he was tall and strong, and he ran right through my life. Oh, he was sharp and he was funny, but he was quiet most of the time. He is the eagle in my soul, and he carried me over my doubts. And there in the rain, he washed them out. He washed them out. And I saw him feel our love as we think of them right now, in that place so high, where we think of them right now. Oh, he was tall, strong, and he ran right. Thank you.
See why we don't have a dry eye after during our reunions. Norm always sings that song and others for our mother as well, who is still living. She's 88. She's in assisted living in my hometown and back in New York, and so I see her quite often. And she's written some beautiful songs for her too. Yeah. So I'm just going to finish up today with one last quote, because it's really hard to follow that with these three. But this is the main quote in Living, Loving, and Unlearning. And it's by Henry David Thoreau. And when I saw this quote, it really spoke to me. I had already come up with the title of my book, but then I saw this quote and I thought, oh my gosh, this just pulls it all together. Because this quote is absolutely a message to all of us of living our own lives in our own truth, and the rest will all fall into place. I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. And that's Henry David Thoreau. Thank you, everybody.